I'll grab your dirty stuff, and I'll take it and I'll wash it for you, and I'll bring it back the same day, because he has no clothes.
Buddy said that?
Yeah. So I went and got John a pair of jeans. I got Barry a pair of jeans, and Joyce some sweatpants.
Hey, sweetheart. You've got a good heart, and I love you.
I guess I'd say I've always had an interest in the homeless. I think I've always been curious about their lives. When I see them on the streets, I wonder how they got there and how they survive. I know I've always hurt for them, and at the same time been a little bit afraid of them. I'm no different than the next guy in wondering that if I give $1, will it just be used to buy a drink? I think like most people, I've rarely given money because I've always been skeptical. But that attitude hasn't stopped my heart from hurting for them. Well, I work in the city of Brockton, Mass, and every day, as I've driven to and from work, I'd pass the same people. They were living out of trash bags or grocery carts, or they'd be huddled in a building doorway, sleeping, or trying to stay warm. And I'd want to help, but I didn't know how. I was drawn to them, but at the same time, uncomfortable. I've always found ways to serve those in need, but usually I knew the person, or I served in ways that were comfortable for me. God had plans for me, I know that now. He kept tugging at my heart, nudging me, and waiting for me to listen. Actually, I think for about 2 years, I waited for someone else to get the ball rolling on serving the homeless. I really thought I wasn't qualified to take it on. I didn't know how to teach teams to go to the streets and minister to the homeless. I didn't know how to do it myself, let alone teach others. I lost so much sleep, worrying about whether I should do it, how I could do it, and of course how I could afford it. The only thing I really did know was that I was called to work with the homeless.
This one's Silverback.
Silverback.
Yep, Silverback.
All right.
All right. This one here's Snowflake.
Snowflake.
The albino with the reddish pink eyes. And this one here's Goldflake. The tan one, but I call him Goldflake anyways. And this one here is Black Silver, which anybody listening, do not pick him up and touch him unless I pick him up first, because he likes to bite.
After an awful lot of frustration, I realized that I just had to give in and accept that God had the plan and he would take care of it. Once I finally gave in to him, God showed me his grace and has provided in so many ways, with people, with money, and with stuff. So last December 2010 was our first time out to the streets of Brockton. I had no idea what we were doing or where we'd go. I prayed that God would show us the way, that he would introduce us to the people we needed to meet, and that we'd have enough of everything. The Holy Spirit kept giving me the number 20, so I prepared enough for 20. I made hard-boiled eggs and loaded baked potatoes. We packed up bags of toiletries and clothes, blankets, fruit, and coffee, and headed to the streets. We drove around for quite a while, looking for anyone who might need a hot meal. It was actually really humbling, sitting in the car, trying to decide how to ask somebody if they were cold or hungry. We wondered if they'd be offended or grateful. No one was offended. That day, we served a lot of people who were drunk and high, but many of the ones we served were just guys like us. They'd had jobs that they'd lost, houses that they'd lost, and families that they'd lost. God found for us the people we needed to minister to. The funny thing is we'd prepared for 20, but fed 25. I thought I'd miscounted and losing my mind. This was our first, but not last, experience with the multiplying effects of loaves and fishes. Since that first time out, each month the Holy Spirit tells me what to prepare for, and we always serve more than what we have. I know I shouldn't be, but I am continually surprised by that. What exactly does LYNN Ministries do? Well, in a nutshell, we try to be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ, and we try to be the gospel. Once a month, we pack up a hot meal, toiletries, clothes, snacks, fruit, water, and bedding, and we just hit the streets. We have a bunch of regular stops where the homeless know to find us, and we just serve out of my car. We always offer choices, since they rarely get them.
Have, like, muffins and banana bread and cookies.
Ooh, banana bread.
We always ask their names, since most people really don't care to know. And we always try to offer a warm handshake or a hug, since human contact is almost non-existent for them. We try to make conversation and offer prayer and let them know that we don't consider them forgotten.
God, we know you know all of our needs, that you would just provide those for her. We'll be praying for Susan.
You know, I used to think I was feeding the hungry, but over time I've learned that the food is really just a vehicle to developing relationships.
Beautiful blue eyes, man.
Coffee would be nice. Are you with them?
Yeah. Drinking it. There's my guy. How are you, bud?
People have gotten so used to being considered part of the scenery, so we now try to bring love, compassion, and humanity. They're used to being shunned, ignored, and hopeless. We try to share the love of Jesus in the simplest ways: a look in the eye, a gentle touch, an ear to listen, and a smile. Way back at the beginning, we promised them we'd come back each month, and we've held to that promise. They're beginning to trust us because we remember their names, and we get excited when we see them, and we keep coming back. We hope to expand to other small communities where people think that there are no homeless. They are here, but they've learned that it's better to just stay invisible. About what it is back there.
Yeah, Dad. Yeah.
So we have to get them to talk to us a little bit, interview them.
Yeah. Okay.
That big
Yeah.
junk there.
They're beginning to trust us. Trust us.
Meeting our needs with food, with shelter, with clothing, and provision, Lord. And for that, we praise you. We praise you for all the things that you give us.
Who do we serve?
Whether we're
Well,
up or
everyone
down,
and anyone. Children, elderly, those living in shelters, and those living in tents or between two rocks.
folks, and then
We serve alcoholics and drug addicts,
them,
and people who've lost jobs, homes, and families because of the bad economy.
for those who
We serve the uneducated, and we serve the highly educated. We serve veterans, really way too many veterans.
every day, Lord.
And we serve those that have lived their whole lives on the streets, to those that are new to this, coming from like really affluent backgrounds. Our most important goal is to follow God's command to love our neighbors as ourselves. We want to serve without judgment. We want to love with compassion and without condition. We want to meet some of their earthly needs and develop relationships with as many as we can. Another goal of LYNN Ministries is to raise awareness. I want to help people understand the struggles the homeless face every day. I want them to realize that we don't know how these people have landed in this situation, and we don't have the right to judge. I want people to look differently at the men and women of the streets. They're not just an unfortunate piece of the landscape. They have names. They have emotions. They could be your mom's best friend. At the very least, they're someone's child, or spouse, or sibling. You would act differently if that woman on the road was your neighbor or your grandmother. What does all this mean to you? We've all learned to insulate ourselves against the ugliness of this world. We think about famine, about unemployment, malaria, and we think that we can't do anything. The problems are way too big, so we just put our head in the sand. We can't possibly impact the world for good. But here's the deal. We never know what one act of kindness or one meal can do. I want to show these people that they still matter and that someone still cares. I want to help break down the barriers that separate God's children from each other. This time last year, I worried about where all the stuff would come from and how I could keep it going. But God is really good. To date, we've served over 300 meals, and we've given away untold numbers of shirts, and socks, toiletries, among all the other things. This is a testimony to God's grace and provision. I didn't do this. God reminds me that all we have to do is ask. He's taken this ministry into areas I never planned on. We now work with a farm stand and a soup kitchen, with hairdressers to provide haircuts at a shelter, with a doctor to provide reading glasses,
and even to a local professional football team to provide sneakers.
I have no idea what else he'll get us involved in, but it is fun thinking about it. I'm encouraging you to be different. I totally stepped out of my comfort zone to follow his call for me. And you know, he's prospered this ministry in ways I could never have imagined. This is one more testimony of God's incredible power to change hearts and minds and lives. How's he nudging you? Can you hear him or feel him, but feel insecure? You know, the thing is, he doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And I'm living proof of that. Step out, stretch yourselves, take a chance, listen to him, and trust him. You have to believe that his way will change you, and through you, change the world, one person at a time. He's giving us chances to make a difference for his kingdom. We simply need to see the need in front of us, respond to the need in ways that honor God and bless others, serving them gladly in practical ways. Just remember Jesus' words in Matthew 25:40, which says, "Whatever you did for the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me."
When you said to feed your sheep, feed your sheep. When you said what you've done for one, you have done for me. What did that mean? When you said, follow me. What did that mean for me? What did that mean for me? Did it mean bring peace to chaos? Did it mean we should heal the blind? Did it mean we should fight injustice, ensure the law's the way to find you? Did it mean we should live with purpose and look at life as an act of worship? Move beyond just a Christ-like surface. Did it mean bring peace to chaos? Did it mean we should heal the blind? Did it mean we should fight injustice, ensure the law's the way to find you? Did it mean we should live with purpose and look at life as an act of worship? Is that what you meant when you said what you said? When you said, follow me, follow